Construction is getting started at two former businesses in Ogdensburg. Cleanup is being done at the site of an old car dealership near the intersection of State Routes 37 and 68. Construction supervisor there, Eric Klepak, says an auto zone will be built on part of the land. He says some corporations have expressed interest in using the rest of the property. Meanwhile, on County Route 6, just outside of Ogdensburg, traffic cones block off the former Edge of Town diner while construction vehicles sit next to it. Debbie Dupree lives next door. She says the diner went out of business soon after she moved into her home.
It was the best truck stop restaurant you could ask for. They had the best food. And then some people bought it and changed it to a fancier restaurant and stuff, and it kind of went downhill. And then they closed 3 months later after we moved in.
Dupree believes the property was bought by Latham Auto, which is just across the road. The company declined to comment.